Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين وإن تستفتحوا فقد جاءكم الفتح نصر من الله وفتح قريب وبشر المؤمنين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر وسوس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Shukran, Imam C. Bishop, you have the floor, please.
Chairman. Lord God of power and might of all creation, you who have created this nation, the Gambia, and you who have planted each and every person in this land, the citizenry. We pray, Lord, that you will uphold us at this point of our democracy. Continue to guide, to protect, and to steer this nation forward to higher heights. Continue to diffuse all potential intention of bringing about misunderstanding among the people. We pray, Lord, that we as a people will learn to dialogue with one another, so that in dialoguing with one another we may come to common understanding as to how to build one another up. So we continue to bring out the truth in the Trrc. We pray, Lord, that those who will come here will only speak of what they know. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Bishop. Council, I believe the technical difficulties have now been resolved and we can continue with our hearing. Is that correct? If it is, you may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, commissioners, and members of the audience. That is indeed the case. We've managed to resolve the technical problems. We hope that they would not resurface as the testimony progresses. We have the witness ready and waiting. It would be via video conferencing, and Mariam Singate would lead the witness. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I now hand over to Mariam.
Thank you. Please proceed, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, commissioners. Good morning, members of the audience. Obi-Wan, can we have the witness on the screen, please?
Mr. Chair, may I indicate that we can only hear the witness through the earphone, through the headphones. But may I warn that there is this terrible hissing noise in the headphones. So if it becomes unbearable, perhaps let us know and we see if we can stop the proceedings and try to solve the problem. This is a recurring problem. Unfortunately, we haven't still been able to sort it out. But there you have it. This is the situation. I'm not wearing it head on. I'm just putting it partially over my ears in the hope that I'll be able to reduce the hissing noise, the background noise, and at the same time hear the witness. But this is the situation. Let's try to work with it and see whether we can resolve the problem. Otherwise, we can ask the technicians to see whether they can channel the audio through the speakers. If that is possible, then we do that. But in the past, that has been not so successful. So it appears that we may have to contend with the noise, the background noise in the headsets. So that's the situation. So with your concurrence, Mr. Chair, we would proceed and see how far we can go with this.
Thank you for that warning. I believe we will continue and have to manage the noise that is coming. But I don't want us to stop the proceedings again. Let's go on. Council, please continue.
Miss Maria Masingate would now lead the witness.
Good morning to you, Mr. Witness. As you already know, my name is Maria Masingate, and I will be leading you on behalf of the Commission today. We have interacted over the phone on several occasions, and during the course of our interactions, I had explained to you your duty to speak the truth. I had also warned you that lying to the Commission is an offense, and I would like to reiterate that point. It is indeed an offense to lie to the Commission or provide misleading information to the Commission under the laws of the Gambia and by virtue of the Trrc Act. So I would urge you, as you give your testimony this morning, to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. Do you understand?
Right. Correct.
So just before we start, I'd like to administer the affirmation to you. So you repeat after me. I state your name, please.
My name is Momodou Ceesay.
Sorry, you will say I, then you state your name.
Oh, okay. I, Momodou Ceesay,
Affirm that
affirm that
I will speak the truth
I will speak the truth
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
As you have already affirmed, the Commission expects you to speak the whole truth. For your testimony today, we are going to focus mainly on your involvement in the April 10 incident. We will first start with a few background questions, and then we'll move on to your career progression, and we'll move on to the April 10 incident and the aftermath of it. Do you understand?
Very correct. Understood, ma.
So if we're good to go, we can start now.
Yes, we can start.
Can you please state your name?
My name is Momodou Ceesay.
When and where were you born?
I was born in October 21st, 1972 in Dipakunda.
Can you please give us a brief summary of your educational background, starting from your primary education? Please, if you can recall, provide dates.
Okay. I started my primary school at the Senegalese primary school in Banjul. That was in the year 78 through the year 1984. Thereafter.
Just a moment, please. Just a moment.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, the audio is quite clear, so from the speaker, you can now remove the headpiece. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Right. So I was saying that my name is Momodou Ceesay, and I was born in October 21st, 1972 in Dipakunda.
Mr. Njai?
Now,
please, can you
Ceesay,
speak into the mic, because we're finding it a bit difficult to get you.
Okay.
Thank
okay.
you.
Can you get me now? Hello? Can you get me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. As I said, my name is Momodou Ceesay, and I was born in October 21st, 1972 in Dipakunda. Now, in 1978, That's when I started my primary school at the Senegal School in Banjul through 1984. After my command entrance, then I proceeded to a military high school in Senegal. And the name of the military high school is Prytanée Militaire of Saint Louis. There in 84, I went all the way, to GCE. That was in the year 1991 when I passed out, from that military high school. In 1991, then I came back home in the Gambia because I was sent to that school by the government of the Gambia through protocol between Senegal. So 92, I joined the Gambia National Gendarmerie.
Sorry, just a moment before you continue with your evidence. You said you were sent to the high school through a protocol between Gambia and Senegal.
Correct,
correct? Can you please tell
That's
us how
very
that
correct.
selection took place?
Okay, the selection took place through competitive examination. And every year of the school year, the Senegalese government will either give 3, 5, 6, depending on the space, number of students, they can admit, from other countries, and the Gambia was among them. So in the year 84, I'm referring to when I was, when I sat, to that common entrance, I came out among the 3 successful Gambians who were accepted, and then we were sent, to the military school in Senegal.
Upon your return to the Gambia, what did you do?
Right. Upon my return to the Gambia, then I joined the then Gambia National Gendarmerie. That was in 1992. After a successful training in 1993, May 93, then I passed out and be among the best, one of the best students. I passed out from the Gambia National Gendarmerie under the administration of Turkish.
What rank were you after your training?
After my training, I passed out as Lance Corporal in 1993 May. Then thereafter 2 months, we had officers exam nationwide. Those who were successful, I was among them. In fact, I was one of the best. I came out first, in that exam, and then I was promoted to officer cadet, and then was standing by to go for my overseas course, my officer's course.
And where did you go for that officer's course?
Right. Thereafter, in 1994, April 1994, I went, to the Republic of Turkey, where I underwent, my officer's training course.
How long did that course last?
That course started in 1994 till 1995. April 1995, then I came back home.
When you came back home, did your rank change from Lance Corporal?
No, actually, my rank changed when I passed, the officer's exam, and I was promoted to officer cadet before I go to Turkey. So I went to Turkey with my rank of officer cadet. After successfully finishing my training in the Republic of Turkey, then I came back home, and then I was promoted to second lieutenant. I was given the rank of second lieutenant.
And thereafter, what happened?
Thereafter, I was posted, at the army headquarters because the time I went, to Turkey, the 1994 coup took place, and then the then gendarmerie was amalgamated, was diffused in a sort of Some of the officers went to the police, the Gambia Police Force, and the other officers to the Gambia National Army. So we were a part of them, of us who came from Turkey. And then when I came, I was posted, at the Gambia National Army, and there I was promoted to the rank of second lieutenant. And I was working at the Army headquarters.
And what was your role at the Army headquarters?
Yeah, at the Army headquarters, I was the operation and the logistics officer for 6 months before being redeployed.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
I said at the Army headquarters, I was the officer in charge of operations and logistics. And I was there for about 6 to 7 months before being redeployed.
Can you tell us how that Mr. Chairman, it seems as if we're back to square one again.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Great.
You were telling us about your redeployment. Can you proceed with that?
Yes, please. Yes. So in 1995, then I was redeployed, to the Gambia Police Force, and then I was sent to the police training school as an instructor.
Can you tell us how that redeployment took place? Was it by choice, or were you posted?
It was not by choice. It was not my choice. The then government and the then Security Council, when I was called from the Army headquarters, I was told that the Gambia Police Force or the government has intended to form a unit called Police Intervention Unit. And for that being the case, I was the one who was identified to be moved from the army to the police.
And when was this?
So that was in 19. When was that? In 1996 January.
Go on, please.
Yeah, in January 96, so I was moved to the police training school as an instructor, where my duties was, to train a batch of police intervention. And at the police training, the first batch they were not fresh officers; they were old conquered officers who were already in the police force, that were selected from different units and the police station nationwide, all over the world, all over the country.
Can you please tell us what that training entailed?
Okay, that training entails VIP close protection, border patrols, crowd controlling, sentry duties, intelligence and counterintelligence, training, police leadership training, communication, map reading, so these were the subjects that I was supposed, to train for those officers identify.
The areas you mentioned, will that then be the component of the work of the PIU?
Yes, it's part of the component of the work of PIU. A point of correction, did I mention also, to maintain law and order? That's public disturbances. If I don't, then it's part of it.
Very well.
Yeah. So So that was what I was assigned as my duty, at the training school as instructor.
Did you remain at the training school as an instructor?
Right. At the training school, when I finished the first batch, the one I told you, they were already trained officers who were selected from different police stations and the units. When I finished with them, they just pass out, and I still remain, at the police training school. And those pass out officers were sent to respective police stations and the unit nationwide in the country. Then in the same year, I was there was a fresh recruitment, and about 110, if I remember, it was 100 and something officers who were recruited, for me to train them freshly.
That will still be in 1996, right?
Right, ma, at the police training school as instructor still.
Go on.
Right. When I finished training those officers for about 6 to 7 months, then they pass out also from the police training school. And then since the strength that the Gambia government was looking for was not sufficient, enough, then they keep them in the Greater Banjul area, that is in Kanifing PIU, and then in Banjul, all lines.
Will that be the first batch that is stationed at a permanent location in Kanifing?
Very clear. That was the batch, first station in Kanifing and then in Banjul. However, those who were trained previously, those officers I was telling you, and that they passed out and they were returned, to their respective unit, they were called as well to come and join, those trained, officers who stationed in Banjul and then Sarek and then Kanifing respectively.
And for how long did you remain at the training school as an instructor?
At the training school, immediately after those police officers passed out from the training school, it took me a few months, and then I was moved to the police intervention unit in Kanifing as the officer commanding intervention.
Can you please pause for a moment? We are not seeing you on the screen right now.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Chairman, can we still continue given that we can hear his voice, or we wait until he's projected on the screen? We still continue?
Yes, I think we can continue if we're hearing the audio is coming on all right. Otherwise, we're wasting time.
Very well. Obi-Wan, in the meantime, can you please make arrangements to have the witness on the screen while we continue? Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you please continue, Mr. Njai?
Yes, ma. Now, in the same year, 96, after some months, I was redeployed again a second time to the police intervention unit as the officer commanding.
Sorry, you said for the second time.
Yeah, for the second time from the army. I was from the army redeployed, to the police as instructor at the police training school. So when I finished training these officers, this set of batch, the first one and then this last one, I'm redeployed again from the police training school to the police intervention as officer commanding.
So as at this time, you were commanding the same men that you had trained?
Correct, ma. That's very right.
And how many men were there?
I was having 3 platoons of men in Kanifing, and each platoon could have up to not more than 30. Then I would say roughly about 90 men under my command.
Can you please briefly give us your responsibilities at that time?
Generally, my responsibility was to be responsible of the operation, logistics, and day-to-day administration of the office, inclusive the officers that were under my command at that time.
And what was supposed to be the major duty of the PIU?
The major duty of PIU was to maintain law and order, to protect, the territory, the integrity of, the Gambia, inclusive, the people of the Gambia, and all other persons, regardless of nationality, tribe, or whatsoever. That was my main duty.
Can you please give us a structure of the PIU as it then was? At that time you started commanding the men.
The structure of the PIU, I was the commanding, and then I had 3 platoons that were under each platoon. You have a sort of platoon commander. But at the headquarters level, at my headquarters level, I have my clerk. Then I have other men also who are responsible for the admin and responsible to dispatch the officers, on duties, plus my RSM, who's Babu Kadjata, and then it goes down, to the platoon commanders, and then, the 3 platoon as well.
In the course of carrying out your duties, can you please tell us
Yes,
what
ma'am.
tools were made available to you?
Right, to carry out my duties, the tools that the Gambia Police Force has given us initially were batons, seals, helmets, tear gases, a PA system. These were the tools that were given to us. Later on, when we were given some supplementary assignment, that is, that was to guard some bases in the Gambia under some of the key installation and the escort that we used to do in the Gambia. So that under those places where the American Embassy, the British Embassy, Minister of Interior's residence, IGP, the GPMB, Supreme Court of the Gambia, the Sierra Leonean High Ambassador those days, the IEC chairman, under some cash escort, and then border patrol. So when this thing was added to our duties, then the command, the ARC, deem it necessary, to have some weapon with us. Since the police was not having weapon at that time, then my headquarters made arrangement with the Army headquarters, and we were supply AK-47, Andrei Kalashnikov 47, for those duties that I have just, listed earlier on.
Can you please tell us when exactly you were supplied these weapons?
I can't remember exactly the date, but then it's in 96 or 97. Actually, I have the to be sure, to be correct or accurate, on my statement. I have the handing over and the taking over, which was given to me from the Army when I was given, those AK-47s and ammunitions. But it should be 96, 97.
So between 96 to 97, you had weapons in your armory, right?
That's correct. That's the time we start having, weapons added to the one I have said earlier on.
Can you please tell us how those weapons were kept?
Right. Those weapons, were kept, in an armory in Canifing, and I have the register of all those weapons. That is, each AK-47 has a serial number, and each serial number is unique. You cannot have, one serial number for two weapons. You always have unique, serial number for each weapon. Like this in the service, we have our regimental number, which is unique for you. So this is how the weapons serial number also were unique. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go on, please.
Yeah. So I was having all those serial numbers, in my records in the office, and the number of ammunition that were given to to my office. And these weapons and the ammunition, I have somebody who's an Amora by the name Latif Ceesay. So he was virtually in charge of the Amori.
Please.
Yeah, he was in. Yeah,
We can
can
hear
I
you,
go
so you
ahead?
can go on.
Okay. So he was the one in charge of the Amori. And each time the weapons are out, are given out, to the church, it should be under my authority. There is nobody who can take a weapon from the armory without my knowledge. And each officer taking a weapon from the armory should sign for it. The weapon you are taken from the armory under the number of ammunition, you are also given. And when you return back from your duties, you return the same weapon under the same number of ammunition that were given to you. And each time I come to the office, this is given to me for me to verify.
So basically, you had control over the weapons that were at the PIU.
Very correct, ma. Very correct. I have somebody who's in charge. Sorry, I have somebody who is in charge, who's the Amora, but then I'm also supervising him. And each time a weapon is out, I'm aware. He cannot give a weapon out without my authority as well, without my knowledge.
How about the other tools that were under your possession? That is the batons, the shields, and the helmets.
Correct, as well. Since the seals and the helmet also were under his responsibility, but then they were not as strict as the weapons. We don't have serial numbers for those batons, for those helmets, seals, and so forth. We don't have serial numbers, but then I have the number of seals that are there, number of baton, number of helmets, and so forth and so forth. And I can know at each time whether a seal or a baton is missing as well.
So effectively, you had control over all the tools that were under the purview of the PIU.
Correct, ma. I have a total supervision of those tools. No one can take them without my knowledge. Nobody.
Would you say that the tools that were supplied to you were proportionate to the men that you had at the PIU?
Yes, ma, they were proportionate to the men that I had at the PIU because they were trained how to handle, arms and ammunition, batons, seals.
My correction was, let me rephrase it again. The tools that were provided to you, was it sufficient for with respect to the number of men you had under you? Hello, Obi-Wan, can you please help us? The image is frozen. Hello. Mr. Chairman, we're experiencing internet connection issues right now. I don't know when it will be resolved. I think it's the internet from the witness.
Should we continue to just wait and see if we can resolve it?
Very well.
back now. Yeah, I'm back. Mhm. Yeah, hello, I can hear you. I'm there. Mhm.
Hello, Ms. Anjay.
Yes, ma, I'm there. Yeah.
Obi-Wan, can we please have the witness projected on the screen? Hello, Ms. Anjay. Hello.
I can hear you. I can hear you, ma. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear now. Can we proceed?
Okay. 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 Um, uh, as I said, the police officers were well trained. They were trained how to handle and manipulate those weapons and the equipment that were given to them. And at each point in time, if you mishandle the weapon or any equipment, then you will be punished for it, depending on the degree of the offense that the person has committed.
And in fact, you were the one that provided this training to the men that were operating directly under you, right?
That's right, ma. With the help of the Gambia National Army, I was the one. Yeah, that's right.
You've told us about the tools that were under the command of the PIU. Can you tell us
Right, ma.
how the command structure of the PIU was? You've told us that you were the officer in command. Can you give us the other structures as well?
Yeah, that's what I have said. I mean, earlier on, you have the operation commander who was the then operation commander who was Babukar Sow, Commissioner of Police. Then you have me, and then you have the three platoon commanders. But in between me and the three platoon commanders, I have my headquarters, a sort of headquarters, and in between there you have back and the other officers, who are responsible for the day-to-day administration of the office, plus my sergeant major. So this is how the police intervention in Kanifing was structured. And each platoon as well, you have like three sections for each platoon, and each section you will have a sort of section commander or section leader, if you allow me. Hello.
Yes, you can go on because we can hear you clearly.
Okay. Okay. Under each section, you have a section commander or a section team leader. So this is how the unit was structured.
In the case of reporting, who do you report directly to?
Yeah, in case of reporting, I report directly to the police commissioner, who was, Babukar Sow.
And who does Sao report to?
Babukar Sow reports directly to the Deputy Inspector General of Police.
And I'll assume that the Deputy Inspector General of Police will report to the IG, right?
That's correct, ma. That should be the way.
Now, in receiving your orders, does it go the same way from the IG, DIG, Operation Commander, and then to you, right?
That's correct, ma. That's exactly how it should be. I don't receive orders, from the IG or the Deputy Inspector General of Police. However, sometimes in some situations, they can direct orders if the situation warrants it. But then in the normal circumstances, normal way, it should come from the Commission of Operation.
Just give us an incident. In what situation will you receive a direct order from the IG or DIG?
No, it has never happened. It has never happened since I was there as the officer commanding, where I deployed my men for a significant, operation or duties, and then received the orders from the deputy or the IGP. It has never happened before.
So in all the instances that you were officer in command of the PRU, all your instructions came from the DIG, right? No, sorry, from the
No,
operations command.
from the police. Correct, ma.
Now, can you tell us how these orders are conveyed to you?
Okay, the orders could come to me verbally, and they may come to me also as a written, document, what we call, operational orders. So these are the two ways that I can receive order from my commission of operations.
In what instances would you receive an oral order?
It depends on the commission of operation. That's his own discretion, because I can't probably tell him whether he should give me, an oral order or a written, order. But in any of the case, both cases, is either oral or a written, order. And I have received cases whereby I have written orders. I have received cases whereby I have also received written orders, written or oral orders.
In following the right procedure, how are orders supposed to come to you?
In following right procedures, both procedures are right. If I'm given oral order by my superior, who is the commissioner for operation, to, for example, let me say, I need you to deploy, some men to, let's say, to go for a stadium coverage, an event at the stadium. I mean, it's an oral order, then I will take it, because sometimes he may even call me over the phone. I will take it. The same thing equally to an operation, probably another operation which he might write, and I receive also orders which are written also from his office, to me, and then we execute them. So both of them are legitimate.
So can you please help us understand what an order with respect to an operation will entail?
Okay, an operational order will entail the nature of the operation. That is what kind of operation you are going to be assigned to. And in that operational order, you will as well have the detail of the number of men that you need, to be given or to deploy, for that particular operation. It will entail, as well, the equipments that you are supposed, to take, for that operational order. And it will entails even, the use of vehicle, if you are going to use vehicle, or if you are going on a foot patrol, or if you are going on any other means. It will entail all those things. And in the order, the other thing is they will let you know what you are, so what is expected from you, what you are supposed to do for that particular, operation.
And can you please understand what an order, what you mean by what is expected of you?
That is what the instructions are supposed to be put, in the operational order. That is, if it is, for instance, to go for a, let's say, public events, they will put, in the operational order, you are going there to maintain law and order, protect life and property, and so forth, under arrest, under detain, suspect, if you are, those are even basic duty of the police officer. So it's always there. As a police officer, you have, those basic duties that you should know, even if they don't tell you in your operational order.
So basically, every operational order standard should contain one. Let me read it out to you. The nature of the operation, the number of men that you're supposed to take for the operation, correct? The equipment
Yes, correct,
you
ma.
are supposed to take for the operation, correct?
Rest, yes, ma. Correct, ma.
If you're going to take a vehicle, correct?
Correct, ma.
what is expected of you as in maintaining law and order is always there, correct?
Yeah, correct,
Protecting
ma.
life and property is always there, correct?
Correct, correct,
And
ma.
if you're supposed to conduct any arrest, it will be written or placed in the order, right?
No, it's not going to be placed in the order. It might not place on the order because those protecting life, properties, arresting, detaining, and so forth. Those are basic duties of the police that every police officer, knows about it. You don't need to be told. Those are your basic duties. So it's there as you carry on your duties.
So you're saying regardless of the fact that it does not contain the portion wherein it states that you're supposed to protect life and property, it is implied that in every operation you should bear in mind that you're supposed to protect life and property, correct?
Very, very correct, ma. Very correct.
Thank you very much. Now we'll proceed to how long you have been officer in command of the PIU.
I was officer in command of the PIU up to 1998, June 98. No, February 98, when I was selected to go for a peacekeeping operation in Sierra Leone as a UN police officer. So in Sierra Leone, I'm saying Sierra Leone, in Angola, sorry, point of correction. Hello?
Sorry, you can proceed because we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. So I said point of correction, it was not in Sierra Leone, but in Angola, the peacekeeping mission in Angola in 1998. So I went, to Angola, and that was the time I left the country and went to Angola for 6 to 7 months. Then I came in 1999. Upon my return, I was posted back. I was sent back, to the police intervention unit.
That was in 1998, huh?
Yeah, when I left the country to for a peacekeeping mission in Angola.
Sorry, can you repeat your answer?
Yes, I said yes. That was the time I left the country in 1998, and then I went, to Angola for a peacekeeping mission. That's correct.
And when did you return from the peacekeeping mission?
From the peacekeeping mission, I returned in 1999. If I remember very well, that was in February 99. I came back to the country.
When you came back, what post were you given?
When I came back in 1999, I went back again to the police intervention as the officer commanding the the unit.
How long did you remain in that position?
In that position, I remained up to 2001 again, when I was selected a second time to go for another peacekeeping mission in East Timor.
Can you please give us the dates you went for the peacekeeping mission?
Yeah, the peacekeeping mission in East Timor, that was in January 2001 until July 2002.
Thereafter, what did you do?
Thereafter, in 2002 to 2003, I was the officer commanding Banjul International Airport and Brikama Division.
And for how long did you remain in that position?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's in 2002 until 2003 February, when I was the officer commanding police Gambia, the Birkama Division, and then the airport. Banjul International Airport.
And what was your next deployment?
From there, my next deployment was when I was given a secondment because I went to a competitive exam again, and then I was given a job with the United Nations, was UNDP. That was in 2003 February when I was given an appointment with UNDP in Cape Point, Banjul.
What was the nature of your appointment?
I was a security officer as well. Basically, it was security duties.
And for how long did you remain in that position and when?
I remained in that position through 2004 March, when I had now an international appointment with the same organization, which is the United Nations. Then I went to the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda in Tanzania.
Can you please give us a date you had an appointment at the tribunal?
At the tribunal, I was there on March. My first day at work was March 2004, when I went to the tribunal to take up my job.
My apologies. For how long did you remain in that position?
I remained in that position until 2009 September, when I went to another mission within the United Nations, which was the Central African Republic and the Chad mission.
After your mission in Chad, where did you work next?
Yes, after my mission, in Chad in 2010, I was there until 2010 December. Then I was moved again, redeployed again to the United Nations, mission in Ivory Coast, Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. And there too, I was there as a close protection officer as well for 5 years.
That will be till 2015, right?
That's correct. Till April 2015, when I was again, redeployed to the United Nations mission in Mali. And I was there for another 3 months, which all the way to February 2018, when I was moved to the actual mission where I am now actually, which is the United Nations in South Sudan.
So you're currently working with the United Nations in Sudan, correct?
That's right. That's right, Ma.
Well, you've.
And can I
Yes.
have a point of a bracket, on that?
Okay then.
Yeah, as I'm working with the United Nations, I was like I took my early retirement, so I was no more working with the Gambia government. I was now working with an international organization, and even coming to this commission, I have to have an authorization because it's a private activity, and so for that being the case, anything that I'm saying here or anything that I'm explaining here has nothing absolutely to do with the United Nations. It's all about me when I was in the Gambia Police Force or in the Army or in the Gendarmerie. That was just the bracket I wanted to put.
Thank you very much for that clarification, and that is basically why you are called today as a witness. And thank you for
That's right,
honoring
Ma.
the call of your country to come and
Thank
reveal
you, Ma.
the truth of what happened
That's right.
in 2000. So we'll go back to
Right.
your position as the officer in command of the PIU.
Right, Ma.
Back. Hello, Mr. Njai, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Ma. Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you very well, loud and clear.
Back in April 2000, what position did you have?
Back in April 2000, I was an assistant superintendent of police commanding the police intervention unit.
As an assistant superintendent, you were the most senior personnel at the PIU, correct?
That's very correct, Ma. I was the most senior personnel in PIU, was the officer commanding.
As at that time, you've explained several conditions to us as to how the PIU works, the men under you, and the manner
That's
in
right.
which you carry out your operations. As at that time,
That's right.
was that the case?
Yes, Ma. After that time, that was, the case. And that was how, we were supposed to work, and that was how I was working with the police intervention unit until I leave, the unit.
Can you please explain to us the events leading to April 10th, as far as you can recall?
Right. As far as my recollections, are the evening of April 10th, that is on the 9th of April in the evening, I was informed by my police commander that I have mentioned earlier on, who's the police commissioner of operation, Babukar Sow. Hello?
Yes, proceed.
Okay. Now, he informed me that there could be a demonstration staged by students.
Can you
And
please tell us?
for that,
I'm really sorry for cutting you off,
okay,
but can you
no
please
problem,
tell
Ma.
us when you were informed about this?
This is what I'm saying is the evening. That was the evening of April 10th, the 9th of April in the evening. I was informed, if I recall very well, but it was a day before April 10th by my commissioner of operation.
In what manner was
That
this information channeled to you?
it was verbal, Mom. It was verbal. It was verbal.
And at what time of,
when
sorry, my
okay,
apologies again. Sorry to cut you, but you have to wait for my questions before you answer it. That way the
right,
testimony can go on smoothly.
right.
Thank you. At what time of the day did he call to inform you about this?
I can't remember exactly the time of the day, but I believe, if my memory serves me very well, it was, in the evening of the night.
Can you please tell us what he exactly told you?
Okay, what he had exactly informed me is that student my stage registration the following day, which was on the 10th. And for that being the case, I should prepare my standby, units. That was the police intervention for any further deployment. This is what he told me at the first stage, and then he told me as well, you need to prepare all equipments, gears necessary, for you to carry on. Those are the rare gears and so forth. I should then make them ready.
Sorry, the instructions he gave you with respect to a possible demonstration, would you see that as an order from him?
Right, Ma. Right, Ma. It's an order. It's an instruction. If he asks me that prepare your men, prepare your equipments, and that there is a likelihood of a demonstration stage by students, so it's an instruction. It's an order.
Would that be an operation order?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's an operational order because he already told me, to prepare my men and the equipment. So it has come, from him to me.
So from him, the instructions were,
From him
one,
to me.
that you should take care of your men and equipment, right?
That's
Were
right.
those the
That's
only
right.
two instructions given to you?
Yes, ma. If I remember, yes, those were the only two instructions. Prepare your men, your equipments, and then get ready, for any further, deployment instruction. As of the following day, which was April 10th.
Did you ask him to provide further information with respect to the order he was given?
Yes, I did so. I did so because I asked him, in fact, to let me know what kind of demonstration, who are the exact people who wants to go on demonstration, and why they were even going also on demonstration. But then the intelligence, probably was not much enough, to give me all those details. So I did not have any further information with regards, to that.
As far as you know, the order that was given to you by Mr. Sao, to go back, in what manner did he transmit this information to you?
I'm not remembering, but I believe, if my memory serves me well, he called me. But then I definitely received, something from him, because he was the one who informed me uh, stage, demonstration that was supposed to be carried out by these students. So he informed me. He definitely informed me.
As far as you know, were those orders written?
No, they were not. There was no written order. Nothing absolutely written that was given to me. They were all verbal.
And did you see the order that he gave to you as sufficient with respect to the operation that you're supposed to embark on?
Yeah, at that stage in time, it was sufficient because as a police officer, I know the nature of the how to call it. I know the nature of what was probably going to take place, and where it was going to take place. And then I think it was sufficient enough, for me to prepare, my men for that.
As far as you can recall, did you receive or see any operational order with respect to the issue that Mr. Sao told you over the phone?
To be honest with you, I haven't seen any written operational order or instruction with regards, to those, duties that I was supposed to carry out the following day. I haven't seen any operational order indeed.
What will you say then to the suggestion that Mr. Sao, in fact, did send an operational order to all the divisional heads, and you, as one of the divisional heads, received an operational order for the April 10th incident?
Probably, I'm not a divisional, officer. I was, officer commanding a unit, but then I don't remember. Honestly speaking, I don't remember receiving an operational, order. But then it comes to the same. Whether I receive an operational order or I receive a verbal, order, as I told you at the initial stage, of this session, that I can take both written and oral, orders. I could not definitely remember if so is the case. It could be, but I could not remember. It's long time ago.
We do, in fact, have an operational order that was tendered
Hmm.
before the Commission of Inquiry into the disturbance of April 10 and 11. So we'll go back to that
Hmm.
in the near future. But in the meantime,
Okay.
I just want to go
Hmm.
back to the order you received from Mr. Saul.
Yes,
That
ma.
particular order you received, you did mention earlier that it was sufficient for you, right?
Yes, ma.
Let's go back to the list that you provided for us with respect to what an operational order should contain.
Hmm.
You did mention that it should contain the nature of the operation, correct?
Yes, ma.
This oral order you said was given to you. Did it clearly state the nature of the operations that was supposed to take place on the 10th of April 2000?
Yes, ma. It entails all those those things for the operation to be, and then moreover again the following day when he called me back, when he called again for a second
My
time.
apologies for for cutting you here. I just
Okay.
want to go through the list that you had provided for me earlier. So we'll go step by step. We'll eventually reach where you
Okay.
want us to go.
Okay, ma.
Secondly, the order you received from Mr. Sao, did it state the number of men you were supposed to take for the operation?
No, he just said, get your standby, your standby unit ready. Because one thing, I need to clarify, we cannot have a specific number for a particular, operation, because we don't deal with a lot of operations, other duties apart from, this specific, operation I have said. So you cannot have a specific number. What I used to have is a standby unit, which is about not more than 30. And even that standby unit, sometimes you can have some people who might be absent for either they are sick or they have emergencies. So you cannot have a specific number. Yeah.
Okay. We'll go through this list and we'll go through the list of the operational order that was tendered before the Commission of Inquiry. Now, going through your own list that you've given, the order you received from Mr. Sao, did it state what is expected of you and your men on the 10th of April 2000?
Exactly, ma. My expectation was to maintain order. Yes. My expectation was to maintain order, and that if there is a demonstration that is disturbing the public order, let me make sure that the order is maintained. That was specifically said to me.
My apologies again, but you didn't answer my question. My question was not about your own expectation.
Oh, okay.
My question was about the expectations of the order that was transmitted to you, the oral order from Mr. Sao. Did it clearly state what was expected of you and your men on that day?
Yes, it was. But that's what I'm saying. It was the expectation were to maintain law and order. That was the expectation with regards
So,
to that demonstration.
from what he said, you understood your mission as to maintain law and order, right?
Exactly, ma. Exactly.
And did this operational order provide how this is supposed to be achieved?
No, ma. I don't have anything, to be achieved. But then, however, our achievement was not to allow the public order to be disturbed. That was our aim. That was supposed to be our achievement.
There is a difference between what is supposed to be your achievement and what is clearly transmitted to you.
Yeah, that was
I'm trying to gauge your understanding of what is transmitted to you from the operations commander.
My operations commander told me that there could be a demonstration staged, by students. And what I am supposed, to do is to go on the ground and maintain, the law and order, on the ground. So the expectation, from him, from the order who he gave me, is to make sure that law and order is being maintained that, nothing is disrupting, nothing is disrupting the normal activities of other people.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
okay.
can hear you loud and clear. Even if you're not seeing us, we can still proceed.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
the order you received from Mr. Sao, did it state anything about the use of force?
No, no. I was not asked to use force. I was not.
Well, is that not odd on its own, given that you're not even told how you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to carry out your operations?
Actually, as officer commanding or as a police officer, if an order is given to you by your superior, he cannot go back, like if you are at the training school, that you should do A, B, C, D, and so forth.
But
You
however,
okay,
sorry to cut you again. However,
yeah.
if you are not clear as to how to go about that particular order, aren't you supposed to confirm from your superior how you're supposed to carry out your order?
Very correct. Very correct. Very correct. That is in the event I have doubt, or in the event I don't have the manpower, or in the I don't probably have the logistics supplies, the means, the equipment that I'm supposed to have to carry out that order. Then I'll be in a position to ask him, how am I going to carry out this operation. That's very true. In some cases I did.
Going back to security forces in general, even the slightest thing as whether to use force or not, am I correct to say that you're supposed to get instructions as to how to go about it from your superior, right?
Yes, if you are to use force, you have to get instructions to be told how to go about it. Use force, without any instruction, any order. That's very correct.
And the amount of force also needs to be defined by your superior, right?
It could be defined by my superior, but then I know it also, because as a trained, officer, I should know the amount of force that I should use. For instance, to a child who is coming to me when I feel that I'm being attacked, or to an adult who, for example, come with a stick or a knife, I should know the amount of force that I should use to defend myself or to defend the part that is under my security. As an officer, you should know that.
When it comes to force, is it not the responsibility of the superior to determine the gravity of force that needs to be used at a particular operation?
Yes, the superior has the authority to determine the use of force to be used for a particular operation. But if you are on the as the commanding officer, you use your initiative, because by then your superior might not be there. He might be in the office or somewhere else. Now it's you as the officer commanding or the one in charge of that operation to use your discretion initiative to know whether this you need to use force, because you've been taught.
So you're telling us that it is the discretion of the commanding officer to determine the force that is to be used in an operation, regardless of an
If
instruction
the
or an order received from his superiors.
no point of correction. You can be given an instruction with regard to the amount of force that you are supposed to use for a particular operation. However, if you are on the ground, because situations, deteriorate, situation changes, from one stage, to another. Whilst you are on the ground, superior is not on the ground. You are to use your initiative to know what level of force that you need to use for this, particular, event that is exactly in front of you. But that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that you should disregard what is given, what is the force that is given to you, because that one has to be.
Okay. Let's say in the case of use of a weapon, for example, a gun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you are not authorized by your superior to use a gun,
Mm-hmm.
can you use your discretion to do so?
Never, 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 Mom. Because the use of force, that one is called even deadly force. It's going to be a deadly force. The use of deadly force has to come, whatever, the case, whatever the situation, has to come, to your superior. It should be, an order. If any of, the police officer or security officer use force at his or her discretion without, his superior or her superior, then that person, needs to be punished or answer, for that question. So it can happen. It shouldn't happen.
Like I told you earlier,
Mm-hmm.
an operational order was in fact issued, and it was tendered before
Mm-hmm.
the Commission of
Mm-hmm.
Inquiry into the disturbance of April 10 and 11. So I'm reading
Right now.
from the report itself at page 263 of
Yes, ma'am.
the report of the Commission of Inquiry. And the
Right.
title of the document that is attached to it is the General and Administrative Instructions for Operation Student Watch commencing Friday, 7th April 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the second page of it, paragraph B,
Mm-hmm.
it provides that Canifing Division, 3 platoon of 20 men, each to be headed by
Mm-hmm.
ASP Momodou Ceesay and ASP
Mm-hmm.
Modugay. They are to be
Mm-hmm.
based at the PIU headquarters and the divisional headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware of this?
No, I'm not aware of that. I have my platoon that was based in Canifing, with me. But I don't, because what happened is Canifing Division is an institution, is a unit of its own, and I have an officer command, which is ASP Momodou. I agree with that. And the police intervention is another unit of its own, which was based in Canifing, as the officer commanding, who is myself, speaking to you. So we cannot have, how do you call it, conflict of command when you have two units commanding, two units at the same time. It could be conflict of, command.
So help us understand this a little bit. You were stationed at the
Okay, ma'am.
PIU, correct?
Yeah. Right, ma'am.
And
That's right.
ASP Modugay, where was he based?
He was the Canning Division commander, and I think his office was in Serekunda. Normally, it should be in Keraba Station, but I think, for his case, he was in Serekunda Division, but he was not in PIU. Myself, I was in PIU.
Now, with respect to command and how things worked, can you please help us understand who was answerable to who?
In respect of command, the police intervention unit is directly answerable to me. There is no other officer commanding who can come and command my unit without my knowledge. Likewise, his unit, while he was the officer commanding Canifing, I can't go and then command, his unit, without his knowledge, especially particularly in this particular day when you have, this right of these students.
Were you answerable to him?
No. I was not answerable to him. We are both answerable to the Commissioner of Police, who was Babakar. So I was not answerable to him.
So based on what I've read so far, let me read it again so that you will get it.
Right.
It said 3 platoons of 20 men, each to be headed by ASP Momodou Ceesay and ASP Modugay. They are to be based at the PIU headquarters and the divisional headquarters. Are you suggesting that this is defective?
Yeah, you have mentioned, if I understand, on that operational order too, a platoon of 20 men to be based in PIU headquarters and the divisional headquarters. That's correct. Their platoon will stay at the divisional headquarters, which is Canifing, and my platoon will stay at my headquarters, which is police intervention unit. That is correct. To bring that point of correction.
So are you suggesting
But then
that?
it was,
My apologies.
okay.
Are you suggesting
Yeah.
that you have never seen this order prior to the incident of April 10, or you've never seen it at all?
Honestly speaking, I can't remember. It could be. Honestly speaking, it's a long time, but I can't remember. I mean, seeing that operational order. However, I received verbal order from him. I can't remember receiving that order because all the operational order that I receive, I file them. I'm always filing them.
We have, like, the number of men on this operational order. We have 3 platoons of 20 men. And you said you had only 30 men under you. Which is which?
No. I don't have 30 men on the 30 men on the MIMA.
Sorry,
I said
you
at the
mentioned
beginning.
that you had a standby of 30 men.
Exactly. I have linked to you now. Let me bring that point of correction. I have 3 platoons, which is not more than 30. One platoon is responsible, for the duties that I have said to you now at the American Embassy, British Embassy, IGP residence, Minister of Interior, and so forth. One responsible for that. And a second platoon is a standby, platoon. And the third platoon now is the platoon that is off duties. Like, for instance, the platoon, like if platoon 1 is on duty at these places I have mentioned to you, then the following day, whilst I'm having 2 platoons at the camp, the following day, they will go off duties, and then the standby platoon that was there will take over, from them. So you will see at a particular time, I'll have 1 platoon in the compound at the PIU, 1 platoon that is off duties, and another platoon, that is on duty. However, if in the case of, I have emergency and I'm told, to bring enough, men on the ground, which I did, then I will call on those who are off duties, to come over and reinforce, the standby platoon that was there. So subsequently, you will have basically 2 platoons.
Thank you. Based on this operational order, it sort of like required you to use all the men under your control, including the ones that were on duties. Am I correct?
Yeah, right. In this one, yes, because I mean, I was bound to use even those men, who were off duties, and I called them, to come over. That's right.
Did you in fact use all the men that were under your control on that particular day?
No, I could not use all of them. As I said to you earlier on, some men, could be sick, others could have emergencies, others could have. It depends on private things that they were doing at that particular time. So what happened is I will get as much as those who were on off, to reinforce, the one that are on standby. So not all of them were used.
So how many men did you actually use for the operations of April 10?
Yeah, that's let me see. Not more than 50, not more than 50 more, because if I have the platoon that is on standby 30, and probably another 10, 15 from the others, at least I could have, another 15 or 20 from there. So it's not more than 50 that I have for that very day.
And
whilst the other platoon is already, deployed in these areas.
My apologies again. And where do the others normally emanate from? Where do they actually come from? Who writes the order and distributes them? The order for
with
you
regards to what, for my men to come on duty, or
No, the orders I'm talking about, the operational orders, where do they emanate from normally?
no, no, operational orders normally comes from the police headquarters. Normally comes from the police headquarters because that's where it should come from the commission of operation. However, sometimes I may ask to write an operational order depending on the operation, and then I will take that operational order and I send it, to the police headquarters for the commissioner's review to check it whether it's okay, and then it will be endorsed.
Effectively, there is a disconnect with respect to the order given from the operational order and what you had in reality, right? You had about
Hello?
30 men on standby as you had indicated to us, correct?
Yeah, about, yeah. That is every day. That is every day I have, at least I have about 30 men on standby every day.
And this operational order we have here required you to use at least 60 men, correct?
Right? Right? Yeah, yeah.
So where would the 20 men have come from?
This is what I have explained to you, Ma. Let me go back again to what is what I have said. Hello, are you with me?
Yes, I am actually.
Hello, are you with me?
Yes, my apologies.
Hello?
I zoned out a bit.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Let me yeah, exactly, because I saw the image was, freeze. I will go back to what I have said again. I have 3 platoons, 3. And the 1 platoon is for these duties I have told you, American Embassy, IG residence, and other places. That platoon is for that. I will be left, with 2 platoons. Out of platoons, I have 1 that is off duty, and then 1 which is active duties, which is in the camp. And these 3 platoons, that's how they rotate. Whilst 1 is on, another one is doing other duties, another one is off duties. So the very day of this, April 10, I was having 1 platoon in the camp, which was already there. The 2 other platoons, 1 was off duties and another one was at various duties I have mentioned earlier on. So to substitute the number of men that is requested as per the operational order you are reading now in front of you, I have to call the ones that were on off duties. That is our standards. If you're off duties and then we need to come for one reason or the other, you will. So that's when I call those people, and as I stated, I could not have the whole number of people that I wanted. For one reason or the other, they might be sick, they might have emergencies, they might have private issues to do. But then what I have is around 50, not more than that.
Did you at
From
any
the off
point
duties and the one who were on standby.
Did you at any point recall any of your men to join you?
Yeah, the one I recall were those on off duties. Those are the only one I call. The one who were on guard, on respective, statics guard, I don't touch them because those were sensitive areas. You cannot call those people in any circumstances. You should not call them. So I did not. I only called those who were off duties.
You've told us that you were called at night on the 9th of April 2000, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you please help us understand how you had enough time to call your men to actually join you?
Right, ma. My men are regrouped, in the camp, and all of them, in that camp, kind of in PIU, and then the rest of the men who were not being able, to be residents, in PIU, stayed in Babun Fati, Joshua. That's where they are given residence. So whenever these emergencies, occur or happen, easily, you can get all of them, to come over. The one on staff are there because they know that they are on duty. Now the one on off duty, these are the ones that now you will go, to the residence where they stay and where we work, and then you go to Babun Fati and call, those people to come over. So that's what's, helped me, to get all those people, to come and help, in this operation. That's how I gathered them.
At what stage did you make the call?
Immediately, I received the call from the operational officer, the commissioner of operation. Immediately, I received the call. Immediately, I call, my point of contact, my RSM and my clerk to make sure that let them inform all, the standby, to stay fast, to be at the camp. And then the rest of the people, who were off duties, some of them, they were staying, in Kanifing because we all stay together. Others were staying in Babun Fati, and I sent, my RSM to go and inform them of what is next is going to happen. So the same evening, I did so.
Well, do you realize that the statement you provided us with, you did not indicate that you actually called some of your men that were not on duty to join you?
Yeah, I did not. I did not state it there. Actually, if I want to state everything, every single thing, then I can do it. But then this is how I call, my men, because PIU, it's an intervention unit, and what they are told is that anytime, any given moment of the day, of the night, you could be called, for duties for an emergency. So that one we have it, and it has been happening since the police intervention was created. Not even this one, but even in emergency, you can get all your unit, within hours.
And you also realize that this is an important element in determining the number of men that you had gathered that particular day with respect to your evidence.
Yeah, it could be. It's important. It's important to know the number of men that were gathered, for that very day. I agree, with you. So this is why I'm testifying and I'm giving you the number of men that I had and how I got them, for this operation. That's very right.
And also stated in your statement that you said I asked Corporal Kaur to ascertain and unveil the list of personnel on duty and those on standby to the RSM, who in turn informed them, that is the personnel, of the possible mission on the following day, April 10th. So those who were off duty were not even mentioned, correct?
Of course, ma. Of course, what I have said, I say that let him make the list of people available who were on standby, and get other people who were on standby to come over. That's very correct.
In fact, even when you started your evidence with respect to how you guarded your men, you did not even mention the fact that you had recalled those people that were off duty. And in your statement as well, it's the same thing. So it's like this is an addition into your evidence, correct?
No, not an addition to my evidence, ma. I think I have even spoken few things that I have not put, in my evidence. I think so, since we started, discussing. So, what I'm telling you now is a supplement of, what is, in my statement.
Okay,
so, hadn't been that I knew that I was supposed to give the exact number, how I got my name, I will do so. I will do so, but then I think, this interview is for me to supplement what I have said. Yeah.
I'll leave this point and move on and leave the commissioners to actually deduce from your evidence. Now, going back to the operational order that we have that was submitted before the commission, I have on point 7, which provides the discretions and the initiatives. Can you tell us what the discretions were with respect to this particular operation you were supposed to embark on?
You mean my discretion under my own initiative with regards to this operation?
what discretions were you told to exercise with respect to the operation?
I said it again, which I'm going to elaborate again. I said, I mean, what our discretion was to maintain public order in general, and in maintaining, public order as a police officer at this school, you were taught, so many things, that you should do. And the one, as I said, to protect life and property. Two, to arrest and detain, suspect. Three, to prepare case file and submit the case file, to the prosecution office, for before a magistrate after their review. And this is how, it goes.
Sorry, Mr.
So
Njai, my
you
apologies
have
for taking
the,
you.
a list.
I apologize for taking you back. You're speaking really fast, so it's very difficult for me to catch up. If you can take it a bit slowly and state your points. I
Okay.
stopped at arrest and
Okay.
detention.
Okay.
Then proceed with the rest, please.
Yeah. I said. In maintaining order, you were taught so many things, at the police, training school, which are the basic things that you're supposed to learn. That is arrest and detain.
Mr. Njai, my apologies. My question was, what were the discretions that you were told to exercise for that particular operations, not what you were taught in school, training school?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. What I was, in fact, I have given you, that is to maintain public order, to maintain law and order. In maintaining that law and order, you have to go through all these things as, you are witnessing, scenes or crime, during the operations. So, during that time, your first thing to do is to protect life and property. And
Okay.
if you see suspects, you arrest them and detain them, and take them, to.
My apologies again. Just to go by what you're saying, are you suggesting that you implied that you should exercise these discretions and you were not actually told what discretions to exercise? But impliedly, from your training, you believe that your discretion was to maintain law and order and to effect arrest when necessary. Am I correct in saying all this?
No, my point of correction, point of correction on that. I'm giving an order that, like, for instance, go and arrest this person. I need you to arrest the person. Let's say this is the instruction. It's given to me, but the person, my superior who has given me, that order, is not there. But if I go on the ground to arrest that person, sometimes situation, may change. Probably the person may cooperate with me, and then I'll arrest the person and bring him or her. But then if the person doesn't cooperate, then I will use certain physical contact to get the person. Now, in this case, what the operational officer or the operational order said, go and maintain order at GTTI.
Okay, I'm trying to understand you here because you're not actually answering my question. My question is, what discretions were you told to exercise? It's for you to say whether you were told to exercise any discretions or not. I am not asking if you,
I was
with
not,
respect to your training and background. I'm asking
I was
with
not,
respect to the order you're
now
given.
I got the question. Now I got the question. I was not asked not to use force. I was not asked at any time to use force.
Repeat that, please.
I said I was not asked any time, to use force or a deadly force. I was not.
Okay. I did tell you about the operational order we have in front of us from the Commission of Inquiry into the disturbance of April 10 and 11. So I'll read from the discretion written on the other. During
Right,
the
ma.
execution of our lawful duties, commanders are required to be as discreet as possible and use only that necessary force required for handling any situation. All members of the force are reminded that they should be courteous, open, neutral, tact, and approachable. Duties are to be carried out in accordance with the law and stand to protect life and property in the best possible and discreet manner.
Correct.
So from
I
these,
totally agree with that.
yes, from this operational order I'm reading, force was actually allowed, correct?
Yeah.
So from the operational order, you were indeed authorized to use force.
Yes, force could be, but what kind of force? Is it physical force or deadly force?
Well,
If you
it's
say
not for
force was
me to
allowed, yes.
answer, sorry, it's not for me to answer
Okay.
that
Okay, yeah,
question.
yeah, force. Okay, okay, force was allowed, yeah.
You're the
Yeah.
one giving your evidence. I'm merely guiding you.
Okay,
So
okay. No, I thought I was trying to, how would I say, to clarify, the issue. Yeah, force was allowed to use.
but you just
Required
told
force
us
was
that you're
allowed to
not
use.
allowed to use force.
Yeah, but ma, when I said force is not allowed to be used, is because you have level of forces that you can use. And I give you, an example. If you go just to arrest, somebody under somebody who's cooperating with you, you will arrest the person. There is no physical force. But if the person resists, obviously there will be a contact. You will use a force, to arrest the person and bring, to the person where he's supposed to be. So force is always used, in the execution of our duties.
Thank you for that. I was actually leading towards a practical situation, not actually what is
Exactly.
stated in a book, a hypothetical
Okay.
situation. So we'll move on to that. So the
Yeah.
operational order, as we see, provided that force is actually allowed.
Yes, force is allowed. It's required
But
depending on
you
the
did mention
situation.
to us just a minute ago that you were not actually allowed to use force.
No, ma, when you ask me, under this example I just give you, minutes ago, that's the same thing, I told you that, if you go on the ground, even if you are allowed to use force, okay, let me say, yes, I was not allowed to use force. But if I go on the ground and I encounter resistance, so obviously force is going to be used there. If I said I don't use force, I may be lying. So which force is it now? Is it physical? Is it deadly? Or is it something else? You have to. Force has to
Okay.
be used. Even
Okay,
if you
Mr.
are not
Njai.
told in the operational order.
Mr. Njai, I'm just trying to just trying to verify whether there was a disconnect between the operational order and what you were
Okay.
actually asked to do
Okay.
and what you told us right now.
Yeah, that's what I told you right now.
Because
An
you've
operational
just,
order
yes, you have just
an
told
operational
us right now. Please just listen to the question. Don't be in a hurry. We have a long way to go as it is.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You have just told us that you were not allowed to use force. Not so. You did told us that you are not allowed to use force, right? Now the operational order that I've just read to you right now, the one that was submitted before the commission, and the one that has the signature of the Commissioner of Operations, that is Mr. Saul, clearly indicates that you are allowed to use the necessary force required, speaking directly from the language of the text. You are required to use the necessary force. So clearly, force was permitted as per this operational order. So I just need to know, what was your understanding of the discretion you were allowed to carry out on that particular day?
Ma, I told you at the first place that, I don't receive, a detailed operational order that you are reading to me now before me, which you have before on your table. I was having that operational order. I could not remember having it. Let me use that word. But what I could remember is that I was told, to go and disperse, some students by maintaining law and order. Now, if now I'm informed, I'm being informed that I can use necessary force that is required, to do my operational duties, then I will take it as that. But then I don't receive any operational order. I could not remember receiving detailed operational order, like that. I could not.
So basically, you're telling us that you're hearing this for the first time.
No. This is not for the first time I'm hearing these things. I hear these things many times, when I'm carrying out operations.
I'm talking about this
I'm hearing that
particular
many
operational
times.
order, Mr.
Use,
Njai.
necessary force.
Yes, I'm talking about the operational order that
This
was
is
supposed to guide your operations.
Mhm.
And what I've read to you so far,
Mhm.
was this the first time that you've heard of it?
Mhm.
You can say
Yeah, this
but
could
the
be. Yeah,
records
this is
will
my
not
first time
write
because, as I said, I don't. This is my first time. Oh yeah, I said this is my first time, to hear that what you are reading, to me, because I don't remember having a physical document of such detailing what and what I'm supposed, to do. This is what I have said.
Mr. Njai, this was a major
Yes, ma.
operations that you were supposed to embark on. Was it not a
Right, ma.
fundamental error for you to embark on such operations without receiving any written order that clearly provides a guideline as to how you should go about that particular operation?
I agree with that. I agree with that. I totally agree with you.
Okay
I
then.
totally agree with you.
So you agree with me that it was a fundamental failure on your part not to
I
inquire more about what you were supposed to do on that particular day?
I agree with you. Exactly, I agree with you. I will not dispute on that.
And you will also agree that it is also a failure on the part of the police administration for failing to deliver an operational order that will guide your operations on that particular day.
I agree with that, ma. I agree with that.
Fair enough. So this tells us that from the beginning of that particular operation, there was a clear disconnect from your unit and the orders you received from the top, correct?
It Yes, yeah, there could be a connection as per the operational orders you are reading, which is detailing specifically, what you are required, to do. I would say yes, there could be some instance of disconnection. I agree.
It's either there was or there was not a could be. So there was a disconnect between what you understood and what was being transmitted to you, correct?
Yeah, I would not, no, ma point of, I would not say there was a disconnection because I received a call, a verbal, instruction stating me what I'm supposed to do and the nature of the operation that I'm supposed to do as well. So if I say totally is disconnection, then I may not tell the truth.
But then
I may not
again,
tell the truth.
you did not actually even know the content of this operational order. You're even surprised by the necessary use of force that I just told you.
Yeah, I don't know the content of the operational order. I'm just referring to the, verbal instruction, verbal message, telephone calls I received, from the operational, officer, commissioner, not what is written, what you are having now presently on your table. I'm not talking
So,
about that.
so clearly you were misinformed. There was a disconnect between you and operations, right?
Yes, yes, ma.
operational order also did not provide for arrest and detention. And clearly there were several arrests and detention on the 10th of April 2000, correct?
I totally agree with you. An operational order is not detailing all what you are supposed to do on the ground, ma. And I have given you examples.
Okay,
You can go on the ground just to
let's just,
disperse, but then
my apologies, let's
okay,
just move on from there
okay,
because we're dwelling
okay,
on this issue too much.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, I believe we've exhausted the time allocated for a session. So this will be a convenient time to go on a break and come back.
Ma, can
Fine,
I come
that's
in? Hello?
all right with me. So,
My apologies, we have already exhausted the time allocated to us. You can keep that point, but then again, go on with your point.
Yeah, because of my professional engagement, uh, if I am, to go and come back again, I may have, some other things, that I'm doing. So I'm appealing with the members of the commission if we can carry out and finish it once and for all. Because to be frank with you, I'm given an allocated time, and if yes, I will go and come back. And now we are 3 hours ahead of the Gambia. I may not, maybe I probably may not be able, to continue. So I'm appealing if it is possible, if they can bear it with me, please, we can continue. If they can bear it with me, that's what I'm appealing.
Okay, then allow me to seek the consent of the chairman
Please.
for us to proceed.
Yeah, please,
The
yeah.
chairman?
Council, actually, we were in your hands. So whatever logistics you worked out with them, we are in your hands. But I'm ready to go until 5 o'clock in the evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll proceed so that also we can hear another witness later in the day. So we proceed with it.
Thank
Fine, that's all right with me.
Thank you, Mr.
But
Chairman.
if we have, since I have the floor now, if you can make, just want to council to be aware of what I'm trying to say. If we continue, I believe the witness is Mr. Momodou Ceesay.
Yes.
Council has been saying, Mr. Njai. I want to be sure that the record is correct, that for this morning session, your references to Mr. Njai
He's
would
called
mean Mr. Ceesay.
Ceesay. He's called Ceesay, so.
Oh, yeah, you have so many names here in Gambia.
Those ones with the two last names.
Ceesay Njai, sorry, my apologies then. Thank you. You may proceed.
Very well, very well, very well.
No, Mr.
Go on.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, you are correct. You are right. It seems me all the time saying Mr. Njai. And I would rather prefer, the Mr. Ceesay, because I have signed a document which I put, Momodou Ceesay. I totally agree with you. I'm commonly called Ceesay, but let's have call me Mr. Ceesay if possible.
My apologies, but you can understand my confusion when I see Ceesay.
No. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try from now on to call you Mr. Ceesay, but if I go astray, just help me out here, because
No,
I'm already used to this
no,
Njai.
no problem.
Okay, so we have agreed that there was a disconnect in communication between your unit and that of operations, right?
Right, ma.
So, in effect, you were operating under orders that were not even clear, correct?
Yeah, yes, ma. I agree with you.
So,
Since
when
I
you
don't have an
received,
operational order with me detailing what I'm supposed to do,
when you received this information from Mr. Sao, what did you do?
Right. When I received this information, from Mr. Shaw, knowing the nature of the disturbance and the where it's going to be, whether it's going to take place, and what he has informed me, I started mobilizing, the units. I started mobilizing the unit, and I said earlier on that I have a standby unit that is on the ground, and then those who were off duties, also we call them to come and reinforce the standby units. That's what I did, and wait, for the next instructions.
Okay, you've told us that you received this instruction from Mr. So on the 9th. When did you start mobilizing your
Right,
unit?
right. That I said it immediately after that. I've called, the units RSM and then the clerk, and I told him, please make sure you inform the standby unit ready to be prepared. We have an operation. Meanwhile, you can also check, the list of those who are off duties, to reinforce, the standby unit. That's what I did. The same night, the same evening, I did so.
Can you please take us through what you did in preparation of the orders that you were supposed to carry out? Just give us a narrative from that night to the morning of the
Right,
10th.
right. That evening, I'm not staying in the camp. I stay outside the camp, and when I received, the information, I made a call before going to the camp for the RSM to make sure that they make the list ready, and I get, all those who were on standby, to those who were off duties also to be ready. So I came to the camp that evening, and then start asking my RSM and my clerk whether all the men have been informed. And the answer was yes. The platoon was already there, and some of the were off duties have been informed. And tomorrow morning, as early as 6 or 6:30, everybody, will be on the ground. That was my plan. Then the following day, hello?
Go on.
Are you with me? Hello? Okay. Then the following day, which is April 10th, already around 6:30, I was already in the camp. And upon my arrival, all the men were assembled, were gathered with their equipments. And those equipments, as I mentioned earlier on, they have their helmets, they have their seals, they have their buttons, they have the how to call it, the mask, the gas mask, and then they have also their tear gases, and then a PA system. So this is what they were having. Upon my arrival, I started having briefing with them, because obviously, before you take your men under your command to a particular operation, you need to brief them. You need to tell them what they are supposed to do. You need to tell them where the operation is going to take place. You need to also check in turn whether they have any question or any doubt that they may ask you. And at the same time, you also ask the officer commander or the commander of the unit to check each and every equipment, whether it's ready, whether they are intact, and so forth. So all these things I did it in that morning when I arrived.
So
Now,
what essentially did you tell the men when you arrived during the briefing? What exactly did you tell them?
right. I told them that we have a mission, an operation, to carry out, and that this is what I have received, from Syria, that we have some students who are going to stage, a demonstration, a probable demonstration, because it was not, sure whether they will do it or not. And then our duties when we arrive on the ground is going to be to maintain law and order. And all those commands has to come, from me. All your movements, all what you're supposed to do has to come, from me with the assistance of my RSM. And I get all your equipments ranging from what I have told you now. This radius, equipment ready. And then you wait for the next, instruction. Whilst I was giving them this briefing, then I received a call from the Commissioner of Operation that yes, I can deploy, my men. He asked me first, do you have your standby? Are they intact? Because he should do that too. Are they okay? Everything is okay. I say yes. All of them are here with their equipment and they are all okay. Then he asked me to deploy now, to BTTI.
I just want to seek a few clarification from what you've told us already. At what time of the day did you arrive at the office?
Around 6:30, I was already in the office. So by the time I took, that briefing of 10,
Sorry, can you
15
repeat again?
minutes,
The time.
I said around 6:30, 0630 hours.
You've told us that even before your arrival, your men had already taken up all their equipments, correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's what we normally do. I mean, before my arrival for any operation, they are prepared, they are ready, and they are on the ground and wait for the next instruction. I found them; they already assembled,
Can you please
waiting
tell
for
us
me.
what equipment your men were carrying when you arrived?
Okay, I will repeat it again, Ma. I told you they carried, individual seals, helmets, baton, smoke mask, tear gases, and then a PAC that was supposed, to be, for me, that was supposed to be handed over to me, a personal, public address system.
You did not mention the use of any gun, did you?
No, I did not. I did not. Oh, sorry. We have also a tear gas gun. Tear gas gun. Yeah. Tear gas gun. Yeah.
Were there any other weapons apart from the ones you've listed that your men had in their possession?
No, there was no other gun apart from this one I have listed.
My apologies for that. I'm just hearing myself speak over again.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can go ahead and answer the question.
Yeah, I said apart from the equipments that I have listed now, there was no other, specific or particular gun, with the units.
So, as far as you can recall, you're telling us that the PIU had no guns in their possession that morning.
No, no gun in their possession at that morning. However, we need to clarify this point. I have all the PIU personnel in all the respective duty, areas who are armed.
And can you tell us the...
Before we proceed, I want to make it clear.
Let's just get this clear a little bit, please, because you've told us that even before your arrival, the men were already gathered, waiting for you, correct?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct. That's very correct.
Yes, and this comprised of those who were on
That's very correct.
standby and those who were off duty, correct? So who were those
Correct, ma. That's correct.
So who were those that had guns in their possession?
Those are the one who are not in the camp are the ones that were posted at the American Embassy, British Embassy, Minister of Interiors, the IGP, Supreme Court, and so forth. But then the unit that was supposed, to go for this particular, operation at GTTI, what I have listed, what I have told you now, this is what, they all have.
As far as you can recall, you did not send out word to recall those people that were on duty in their respective posts, correct?
No, never. They
So
should
those
not. And
people,
if anybody, does so, you are to be answered for it. No, there
so
was
those
no
people
order for
were
them,
not,
to leave.
those people were not aware of what was going on at the PIU headquarters, correct?
They might know through their through colleagues, through mates, because if we are all it's the same units, and as a unit, when there is some information, you need for all your men to know about it. That is a habit. You need them to know what is happening because they are security officers. They might know what was going to happen probably.
You've just told us that you only
Yeah.
informed, you only asked that the people on standby be informed and the ones that were off duty as well. Those are the only two
Yeah.
categories that you told us that were gathered on that particular day in the morning, correct?
That's right. That's very correct. Those are the ones who are going to be assigned for these particular duties, not any other person. That's right.
And that was about 50 men, correct?
Yeah, about 50. Yeah.
And those that were in their various position, manning the various embassies and offices, were not included in the 50 you just told us, right?
No, they were not. They were not included. I just want to mention. I mention it just to let you know that I also have another set who are armed, because I want to bring all all the lights. I want to see all the lights on what I'm telling you now.
But then again, they were on duty and
Yeah, they were
they
on duty.
had work to do. And as
Right.
far as security is concerned, they were not supposed to leave their duty post and do some other thing that you did not instruct them to do, correct?
Very, very correct, ma. Very, very correct. Yep.
So we'll limit it to the number of people you actually called for this particular operation, okay?
That's very correct, ma. Very correct. Yeah, we limit it to that. Yeah.
So on that particular day, you had 50 men gathered, correct?
Yes, ma. About 50 men gathered. Yes, ma. Correct.
And all those 50 men, you are telling us right now that none of them carried a gun.
None of them, carried a gun, because outside that point, as I said at the beginning, anybody who is going to be given a gun is with my knowledge, and the person, has to sign in, a register. The weapon serial number has there, the number of ammunition has to be there, and what type of duty, he's going to carry out also, all has to be mentioned. So consequently, subsequently, there was nobody who was carrying weapon within that 50 men I told you who were supposed not to come with me. None of them. Otherwise, I would have seen it. And the weapon were supposed to be from my own instructions.
So effectively, you, as the officer in command, knew very well what type of weapons that your men were carrying that day. That's what you're telling us, right? And you're telling us that they
Exactly,
did
ma'am.
not carry any guns, right?
Exactly, ma'am. That's my responsibility. That's my sole responsibility to know what type of weapons they carry, and none of them was carrying weapons.
And you've told us that when you arrived, the men were already gathered, correct?
That's right. That's right, ma'am.
Did you inspect all of them?
That's very correct. you cannot go on duties during the briefing. When you brief, as I said, that 15 minutes briefing I have, the briefing entails inspecting and checking them whether they have all the necessary equipment that they are supposed to do for a particular duties, and you even ask them whether they are fit as well. They are fit to to carry out the duties. So I have inspected them and ascertained that everything is okay physically. I mean, logistics wise, equipment wise, I have done all that.
Okay. For how long did
Yeah,
you actually make sure that all of these things are in place? Remember, you've told us that you arrived at the office at 6:30. Now, how long did it
yeah,
take you to address the men and inspect all their weapons?
about 15 minutes, because I remember when I arrived in 6:30, as I told you, they were already on the ground, and within 15 20 minutes, I briefed them, and then that's the time I received a call from the operation commander.
How about you? Did you carry any weapons?
No, myself, I did not. I was not having a weapon.
As the officer in command, did you, let me repeat the question again, did you carry any weapon with you?
As an officer commanding, I don't carry any weapon, with me. However, however, I could carry a weapon. I could carry a weapon if I'm going for a particular, duties, and I'm authorized, to carry a weapon.
Um, um, my apologies again. Mr. Ceesay, you're not answering my question. My question is not if you could have carried a weapon. My question is, did you in fact carry a weapon on that particular day?
No, no, I did not carry a weapon on that particular day. I did not. Said.
Okay, we'll come to that issue again. You said immediately after you addressed the men on the operations, you received a call from the director of operations, Mr. So, and he asked you to
Commission of
deploy your
Operations. Yeah.
men. Where did he ask you to deploy your men?
Okay. The Commission of Operation Babakar Sow asked me to deploy my men at DTI. That's where we went.
Sorry, I didn't get that. At where?
At GTT, Abia Technical Training Institute, Golf Tango India.
Well, thank you very much for that. From your headquarters at the PIU to GTTI, how many minutes is that?
It's roughly depending on the traffic. GTTI and the police intervention is just, you can even stand and see GTTI over there. It's not more than 5 minutes. Not more than 5 minutes.
So how did you converge?
Depending on the traffic, because it was a rush hour.
How did you converge at GTTI?
I went, by vehicle. We were having, a vehicle, official vehicle, under us, and that's what I used, to convert, my men, to GTTI,
How about,
personnel to GTTI.
my apologies, how about your men?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We had a vehicle at the police intervention unit. That's what I used, to transport, to convey, the units GTTI. We went by vehicle.
Okay, can you please take us through what happened when you arrived at GTTI?
Okay. On my arrival at GTTI, of course, yes, I arrived, all the men, disembarked, from the vehicle, and then they assemble on the other side of the road. That is the opposite side where, the crowd is standing, where you can see the crowd. I was on the side of the road going towards Banjul, and they were on the other side of the road going towards, Jimpex. So when I came, the men, I brought them down, assembled them, And then I took discretion, my own discretion to go, because when I arrived, I saw the crowd there at GTKI. I could see actually not only one, but then you could see one around the main road, another one on the left-hand side, another one inside, GTI. And at the same time, at that point in time, I noticed, soldiers, armed soldiers, who came from Fajara barracks, and those are the Gambia National Guard, soldiers. I could notice them within the vicinity. So I went and approached whether they were, student leaders, but then I know that I approached, some of them. I could not identify who was leader or not, and try to dissolve, the situation, to bring it down. So I went approach them and I started talking to them. What is the use of this demonstration that we want to stage? It is better you leave, this place peacefully, go to your respective business, either to school or you go back home. So, in the group, I could have some murmuring, some answers. Like some of them were saying, no, we won't go. Some of them are saying, no, a sort of. But yet still, I continue pleading them that, this, they have to leave. They have to leave, this place and go home, not disturb, the public order. That was the second time I told them that, but still, they refuse, and apparently they are getting more agitated. So I said, okay, that's fine. So as I was going back to where the unit was standing, the police intervention on the other side of the road, the opposite side of the road, then you can see how they were getting away, and it was eventually the highway was like blocked, so no vehicle could go. The one coming from Banjul, towards Terekunda, you can see that the traffic was completely blocked. So at that stage, with their agitation, I said, okay, what should I do? Then I took, my PA system, the personal address system. Then I talked to them, asking them to leave this place, disperse, this place, and to go home, peacefully. Otherwise, the intervention, the PIU will disperse you. This is what I told them 4 times, almost 4 times with interval of 5 minutes. But it seems anytime I say so, they get more agitated and they more come, on the highway. So the 4th time, when I said so, then I turned, to my unit, to the unit PIU, and then give them a second briefing reminder that this is the situation now we are facing. The crowd is agitated, and they are getting more and more on the highway, and now we have to disperse them. That was the time I told them, to charge and disperse, make sure that, the road is completely clear.
Thank you very much. I would just like to ask a few questions to clarify some of the
Right.
issues that you've just stated.
Right,
You've told us earlier that it was the Commissioner of Operations that called you in the morning to act, and he informed you that you should deploy your men at GTTI. Correct?
That's right, ma. Yeah, that's right. He's the one who informed me.
In the morning when you arrived at GTTI, did you see the Commissioner of Operations there?
No, I did not see the Commissioner of Operations. I think throughout the operations, this event, I did not see him. I did not see him there.
As at the time you approached the students, can you tell us where your men were stationed?
I said it, my men were stationed the other side of the road, the opposite side. The double lane road. They were at GTTI and we were on the other side, completely the other side. That is the road going to Banjul. That's where they were.
That would be the
But
cemetery
myself,
site just opposite GTTI, correct?
exactly, exactly. But myself, I crossed over the road and I went where they were standing to talk to them, to approach them.
At this point, did you go alone to approach them?
Right, right. I went alone, ma, to approach them because the crowd was not. To my assessment, it was not like aggressive. They were not aggressive, so I said, "Oh, okay." Then I took my initiative to go and talk to them.
So at this point, from your own assessment, the crowd was peaceful, correct?
Yeah, they were peaceful. The time I arrived, they were peaceful. They were just standing, on the side of the road.
Sorry. What was the composition of that crowd?
I may not know exactly how many of them were in that crowd, but as I stated, the bigger
No,
number was the one.
sorry, you did not understand my questions clearly. My question is, what was the composition of that crowd? How are
Oh,
you able to
okay,
identify the
okay,
people that were in the crowd?
okay, okay. The composition of the crowd, yeah, okay. They were composed of. I can see some children as young as 15 years old. To be honest, to my own assessment, and I could also see some of them who are adults, and a part of them were in uniforms. I could recognize the uniform as far as I know, and the others are without uniform. In fact, the bigger number they were without uniform.
The crowd that you saw, were they armed?
They were not armed. They were not having. To be honest with you, they were not even having stones or stick, with them. None of them was armed. To be honest with you, none.
So when you approached this crowd of students, they didn't seem to you like a threat, did they?
No, they were not a threat to me. This is why I even have the guts, to go to them. And if they were a threat to me, I would have not gone. I assessed that, they were not a threat to me. That's why I went to them to talk to them.
You mentioned that you actually spoke to them. Did you
Yeah.
speak to
hmm
any individuals in the crowd individually?
Actually, no, no. I did not speak to any of them individually. As they were standing on the side of the road, then when I approached, of course, the bigger group that was next to the road, without talking of, the other one and the third one that was in GTTI, I spoke, to the one that was next to me nearby the road, but not individually. I just addressed them, collectively.
Did that crowd, from your own recollection and from what you perceived, did it look as if a group of individuals were leading that crowd?
Yes, yes. To my assessment, I could say that there were individuals leading that crowd, because they could have not have that big crowd like that without somebody leading them. But I
From
could
your
not know who was the leader. I could not identify the leaders.
from your own assessment of things, the people you speak to, did they appear to be the leaders of that particular crowd?
Yes, to my assessment, yes, ma. Yes, ma. I'm the one that I have spoken to. I consider them. I consider them to be the leader of the crowd. And even if they were not also leaders. And the way I was talking at the top of my voice. So basically, all those who were standing within around there, they could hear what I was telling them.
Did they say anything to you while you were speaking to them?
No, I was ignored. I was ignored, and then apparently that's when I started hearing in the crowd. Some of them say, no, we'll not move. Some of them are saying, no, we don't want to listen to him. And there's some murmuring, of course, that I can't exactly tell what they were saying.
From what you've told us, you said you approached them. Did anyone actually approach you to explain to you what their purpose was for gathering there?
Unfortunately, no, ma. When I approached them and I talked to them, none of them definitely approached me to tell me what their purpose is for gathering there at GTI. None of them. I did not talk to any of them.
I would like to read an extract from one of the witness statements that we have, and it's from Alaji S. Dabo. And I read from paragraph 22 of his statement. He
Right.
said, on Monday the 10th of April 2000, at about 7:30, remember you provided us with time, so this is exactly within the time frame that you provided us with.
Right.
I arrived at GTTI and found the GAMSU president and some executive members by the roadside. Other students also started arriving. About 2 buses stopped and some students disembarked. We were waiting for the vehicle for the delegation to go to the Vice President Isatunjai Ceesay. In less than 30 minutes, the PIU also arrived and started calling on students to disperse immediately. You've told us exactly that you told the students to disperse, not so.
Can I come in on that portion?
You may.
Okay. I did not come with my men and I told them immediately to disperse. We don't do that because when you come, you have to assess, the situation, and that's exactly what I did through my explanation. When we came, they disembarked and they assembled the opposite side of the road, the other side, and then I approached them. I did not tell them to disperse at that point in time. I approached them to plead to them to disperse. Yes, I told them, please, can you disperse? Can you leave this area and then you go home? That's yes.
So you agree with me that you did tell them to disperse, correct?
Yeah. I told them that. I went the first time, my first point of contact with them. I told them.
So we move on with the statement. Still reading from the same paragraph. I tried to approach him to tell him the development, that there was no demonstration, but before I could reach them, the officers started advancing. This is one of the students speaking, student leaders, Alaji S. Dabo. And he was the deputy vice president of GAMSU, as it then was.
Right.
Sorry, vice president. He said he tried to approach you, but then again, your men started advancing towards them. Let me finish up with the statement. I raised my hands up, but they kept advancing until they passed me and started beating and arresting the students, including Omar Juf. The rest of the students ran in different directions through the cemetery, inside GTTI, and towards Westfield End, chased by the PIU officers. I was hit on the head once with a truncheon and about to fall down. I managed to get to a tree by the roadside and I leaned on it for a while until I gained consciousness. Is he lying about the scene?
I'm not going to say that he is lying because that up to the commission. But then what I can say there is there is no officer commanding or unit commander who will just come on the ground and then start dispersing or having encounter with the crowd. No, definitely no. I did not see him. He has never come to me to talk to me. If that was the case, it was peaceful, as I said in my earlier statement. They were very peaceful, honestly speaking. I have to be frank with you. They are very peaceful. So that was, I have the guts that there was no threats, directed to me. And then I went and I talked to them. I was the one who went and I talked to them.
No,
None of them have conflict.
Mr. Njai, he didn't say he approached you. He said he tried to approach you. And
Oh, okay.
also, I'll just read an extract from your statement as well, if I may. I'm reading from paragraph 5, just towards the end. After several failed attempts to convince them to disperse, and while I was going back to where the PIU personnel stationed, the crowd became more agitated and prevented the flow of traffic. I then made the use of the PAS, asking them to peacefully disperse and leave. Otherwise, the PIU personnel will disperse them.
Right.
These warnings were repeated 4 times with the interval of 5 minutes, but I was facing resistance. At that spot, I deemed it necessary to let the PIU to disperse the crowd before engaging the PIU personnel.
Right.
I had a short briefing in reminding them of our objective, which was to maintain public order.
Right, ma. Right, ma. That's exactly I did.
Okay. Now you've told us that at the point where when you approached the students, they were all very peaceful. None of them carried a weapon, but they were agitated about something, right? And it was not actually towards you. Correct?
No, I could not determine what they were agitated, what the agitation was, it's from. The source of the agitation I could not know, but I know that they were agitated.
But from your own,
but I could not know the source.
From your own perception on that particular day, you've told us that you perceived that they were peaceful.
Yeah, they were peaceful. Honestly, they were peaceful, right?
And yet, your men did attack them. Correct?
Yeah. Can I bring a point of correction there, or to enlighten that area?
Mr. Njai, your men did attack them. It's either a true or false, and after you can bring your point of clarification.
Yes. They dispersed them. They dispersed them. Yes, ma'am.
I mentioned attack and not disperse. They attacked the students.
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's go through how they actually dispersed the students.
Okay.
I'll give you certain points from the statements of the students that I had read.
Right.
1, your men started shooting tear gas into the crowd, correct? Without any provocation. Correct?
Well, I'm listening. No, I'm listening to you.
I am
what you are telling
actually asking a question. It's for you to affirm. Your men shot tear gas into the crowd of students without provocation, correct?
Yeah, they shot. Yeah, we discharged some gases. Yeah, some tear gases. Yeah.
The students were then beaten with batons and shields, correct?
I could witness one, and I could witness one. I saw one of them beating a student with baton. Yes.
But it actually happened during this process, correct?
Yeah, when they were dispersed. Yeah, when they were dispersing them, right?
The students ran away because of the tear gas and the aggression of your men, correct?
Right.
And your men chased them and beat some of them, correct? And arrested some of them as well, correct?
I'll come to that point, but they were beaten. They were chased and beaten. Yes.
Mr. Njai,
yes.
It happened or it did not happen. So please tell us if that happened.
It happened.
So in fact, from all of these things, your men actually caused the aggression. They attacked the students without any form of provocation, correct?
Can you give me let me explain myself, because you are just giving me a list of 1, 2, 3, and then you want me to say yes or no, yes or no. So at least give me the chance, I mean, to tell
You
you.
can answer the
The
question.
man,
You can choose to say it didn't happen and then clarify, and you can choose to say it happened. It is already
oh,
truth that
okay,
I'm
yeah,
looking
it
for.
happened.
It happened,
Okay, it's
correct?
happened. They chose them, under some of them were beaten, yes.
Okay, I'll give you time to actually clarify some of these things based on your own
Okay,
recollection.
okay,
I am just
right,
concerned about the truth of what happened that day.
right,
Now,
right, ma.
now you will agree that all of these things that happen, the attacking of students without any form of provocation, the beating and arresting of students, was all contrary to the order that was given, correct?
No, it was not contrary. They dispersed them. I don't like the word attack, Me too. I mean, they disperse them because the worst attack is really. I'm not comfortable with that word definitely. If you pass, I will agree with you. But attack them, I'm not very much comfortable.
My apologies for not using the word that you want me to use, but it's either blue or
No,
black.
not
It cannot be both.
not I want you to use. Not I want you to use. You can use whatever word you want. But then I say that I'm not comfortable, with that word. But you can use it. Not that I want to tell you what you're supposed to use.
Mr. Njai, let's just go back to the point here. It's not about the
Right,
use
ma.
of words.
Okay, ma.
Words can mean different things. But the point
Right,
is the students were attacked. Correct.
right, right.
Okay, now let's go back to the operational order. And whatever happened during that time is actually contrary to the operational order we have here. I'll read from there.
Right, right.
It states, we should avoid provoking disturbance and bear the required level of tolerance to avert any situation. Clearly, that did not happen from your own end. You didn't do that. Would you agree?
I'm listening. Yes, I'm listening. Yes, ma.
Do
Yes,
you do you agree with what I've said so far?
yes, yes, ma.
Okay. So we'll move on from that. You agreed that you provoked the attack and then you arrested some of the students who we have identified as the leaders of the demonstration. What happened after you've arrested them?
Ma, I don't agree that we provoke the attack. What happened? Of course, I agree that I witnessed some of them were beaten, and that is up to the commission, to test, to determine that. But why we dispersed them was that they were blocking, the traffic.
Um,
They were
I'm not
completely blocking the traffic, and that.
I'm not asking I'm not asking the reason why. I'm just concerned as to how it was done. And in
Yeah,
this
that's where
case,
I'm coming, because
yes.
I have to give a reason and say why. So this is where I was coming to.
Yes, and in this case, you will agree with me that a bunch of students just gathered at a particular place without causing any form of disturbance. Was
There
no
was a
threat at
disturbance,
all.
ma. I don't agree. I don't agree with that, ma. There was a disturbance because the moment they came, they come up highway and they block the traffic. There's a disturbance. There's public disorder. So there is, and that was the reason why my unit was trying to disperse them. We cannot disperse students who have not, created any public disturbance. So that's why I said I don't agree with that. We did not attack them just we want to attack them.
Okay, I did read out the statement of a particular student, and you agreed with me
Right?
that that student was right. Now I'll read out the statement of another student that was present on that particular scene. And you will tell me whether this statement is actually true as to what happened or not. At
Yeah.
6:30
So,
a.m.,
Soma, can you hear me?
yes,
Sorry. Yeah, because when you read all those, I mean, statements, those points, I wanted to intervene, and actually you told me no, say yes or no, and then later, you'll have the chance, to come in. So this is why I was saying yes. If it happened, if beating was happened, I would say yes. If they were chased, I would say yes. If tear gases were thrown, I would say yes. But then give me the chance now to come and say why this thing was happened.
Okay, then you want to provide
Yeah,
a justification for it, correct?
exactly, ma.
Okay, let's
Exactly.
hear
That's
your
what I want.
justification then.
Okay, thank you so much, ma. Um, um, I will not, I will not deny, at all that they were not chased, they were not dispersed, they were not beaten, because I have seen
Okay, now
once or twice.
based on where you have started so far, you have told me already that you do not deny all those points that I've mentioned, right?
Yeah. Then you told me
You
that they
you
were
do not,
they were not
yes,
disturbing. You
you
were
do not
telling me
deny the
that they
fact
were.
that, sorry, let me repeat it again. You do not deny the fact that the students were peaceful at that point, correct? You do not deny the
Yeah,
fact that
right,
they
right,
were not acting provocatively towards your men, correct?
right,
You do not
right,
deny the fact that it was your men that shot at them with tear gas
right,
and
right,
chased them, beating them with batons,
right, ma,
and
right,
later
ma.
arrested some of them, correct?
That's very
And
correct. That's
that is
very correct.
clearly
I
the
agree.
fact of whatever happened that day, isn't it?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, that is a
So,
real fact.
and let me just read out this portion to you again because we've already established all the facts that happened that day. So
Yeah.
we will not want to dwell in justifications. It was your
Oh, okay.
it was a failure on your part when it came to that issue, correct?
Oh, okay. Okay.
You as the commander, you've told us that a commander always has control over his men. You as the
Right,
commander had control over your
right,
men. You were the one that was
right,
ordering your men,
right,
and you were the one that gave the order for them to
right,
shoot into the crowd of students, and you were the one that also gave the order for the arrest of students, correct?
right, right, ma.
So you will agree with me at this point, after all these points that we've established so far, you will agree with me that you provoked the situation. It's
Oh,
either a
yeah,
yes
yes,
or
ma.
no,
I
Mr.
agree.
Ceesay.
Yeah, yes, 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 ma.
So you accept
Yes. I,
responsibility for whatever happened on the 10th of April 2000 at
I take the
GTTI.
responsibility. I take the responsibility that whatever happened, at that point in time, GTTI, the beating and the chasing, the throwing, of tear gases, yes, that's very true, because I was the officer commanding.
And just to stress on this point and just to establish that this is actually what transpired at GTTI, I would like to read another statement to you, the statement
Right,
of
ma.
a student
Right, ma.
witness. By 7:30, before we could start to move over into GTTI, officers of the Police Intervention Unit, had arrived on the scene. They immediately started asking, immediately started to ask to speak with me. But I directed them to the Vice President, Alaji Dabo, whose statement I had read earlier, who was the one
No.
assigned to speak with them. They were not willing to do that, and soon ordered that we disperse. There were about 25 officers and about 1,000 students at that time. After repeated orders for us to disperse, which you had clearly told us,
Right.
we were attacked. So, in fact, you and your men were in a situation where you had more students than the police officers you actually came with, correct?
No, we didn't have more police officers than this. No,
So
no, I don't agree that.
the officers you had were proportionate to the students that were there at that time.
There were about not more than 50 officers. And the students, they were more than 1,000. So, I mean, the number is far more than what the number of people I came under what we found on the ground.
So what I read out right now as to the situation that happened at GTTI is actually true, because this is also corroborated by the statement of Alaji S. Dabo that I had read out earlier. He did confirm that statement as well.
No, my issue here, my problem here is for them, or they have their opinion, but for them saying that they try to come and talk, to PIU personnel to stop, that has not happened. That has not happened. I mean, I want you to take it into consideration. I was the one who went on the ground and approached them, to talk to them. Not them coming talking to me. I was going to be very pleased if I see anybody coming and talking to me.
This is
because this is what I was looking for.
Yes, this is what the statement provided. But then again, the issue of who approached who is actually irrelevant, because you've already told us that the crowd was peaceful, and yet you attacked them.
Yeah, the crowd was peaceful. I totally agree. But why we attacked them? Because they were disturbing the public order. And this was the reason why we dispersed them. Nothing else. Because they were disturbing the public order under the instructions, we received were that go and maintain, order. So I think I'm also in order when I see that, a crowd that is even peaceful, and that, moreover again, they were not even armed, even stones or stick, with them to add it to my verbal statement. But then the fact that they were disturbing the public order, the traffic at that particular time, and the vehicles, that was the reason why I gave I told my unit to disperse them. And during that dispersing, I totally agree that I have seen, because I was behind and running here and there. I could see some of the, one or two officers beating them. I could see one or two officers chasing them. I could see one or two officers, arrested, and apprehend, some of them. All these things I'm not denying. Honestly, I'm not denying. It happened.
Mr. Ceesay, you did tell us earlier that you told us earlier that you had 50 men. 50 men
About 50
under
men,
your
yes,
command
yes.
on that day.
Right.
So it was not only
Right, ma.
one or two officers. It was, in fact, all of the officers against the students that were gathered there. And you repeatedly told us that they were not armed, they were not armed. That means you provoked the situation. You started the whole thing. And given the fact that you had agreed on that point, do you want us to go back to it again? Because we've already established that you were the one that provoked the situation.
Yeah, let's continue. But then I respect, their statement, and my statement should be respected, because my role, my duty, to go there is to maintain, public order. Even though the person is peaceful and you are disturbing, the order, I think my role as a police officer is to make sure that, that disturbance, is dispersed. And that this is what I have done. Of course, as a result of me dispersing them brought the provocation, which I will agree. I will totally agree. But then I was doing my role as a police officer to stop, discontinue, the disturbance. So we can continue. I agree.
So you will agree with me on this point, that the manner in which you dispersed the students provoked the situation and the chaos that happened.
Yeah, obvious. Obviously, yes. Obviously, yes. Because I disperse them, and then they start running, and it has brought us to another level. That's true. That's something that we are seeing now. That's
And
something that that has happened.
and you will agree with me that the manner in which it was done was unlawful and illegal.
Um,
You have the
okay,
beating
ma.
of the
I mean,
students.
the commission.
Just go on, please.
Okay. Yes, ma. I agree. Hello. Can you
Okay,
hear me?
so we'll move on from this point since we have all agreed on this particular issue. Let's go back to the students
Okay.
that were arrested. Where were they taken?
They were taken to Kanifing, to the office.
Sorry, I didn't get your answer. My apologies. Hello, Mr. Ceesay. Can you hear me? Mr. Chairman, the screen is frozen again. We're having a bit of a technical difficulty. Obi Van, can you help us here? They're saying
Can we have an indication from the OV van what is happening? Are they trying to restore contact with the witness? Oh, okay. Apparently, the witness's computer is still frozen. The image on the witness's computer is still frozen. So we would say whether contact could be restored with the witness. And then we would proceed. Mr. Ceesay, can you hear us? It's still frozen. Mr. Chair, I take over from Mariama. She's gone out to confer with the technicians in the OV van. But in view of the current situation and in view of the fact that it's now 2 p.m., I propose that we adjourn our hearing of this witness until another date when we would identify all the technical problems and would be able to address them.
Yeah,
Right?
it is
He's
there
back
now.
on the screen. It looks like we can proceed. He's
Yeah.
back on the screen. Mr. Ceesay, can you confirm
Yes, please, sir.
how much time we can have with you for today? How much more time do we have with you?
As much as you can, because I'm free from now on. I'm free.
We
We
can
can continue.
proceed with you to the
I have
finish today.
permission.
Okay. So, Mr.
Yes,
Chair, where
yes,
you have
yes,
it,
sir. That would be great.
we can continue and see how far we can go, except if it is desirable that we adjourn with him and give him a rendezvous to continue another date. And in the meantime, we interpose the other witness who's been waiting. We stand guided by your decision. He is here, he is able to proceed. We are also able to take another witness. So I leave it to your discretion, whether we continue with him or we adjourn with him, give him another date to come and continue. We take a short break, and after the break, we bring on another witness. We stand guided by you, Mr. Chair. We are indifferent. Any which way you decide, we will proceed.
One component, if you can make that point clear, how much time do you need with him to finish?
1 hour, Mr. Chair? One more hour?
If you need an hour, then I think we should take your suggestion, end with him today, and then arrange him to have him another day to complete his suggestion. And then we will take a break now, come back at 2:45, and with the next witness. If that is okay with you on your logistics and other things, we should proceed accordingly.
That is fine by us, Mr. Chair. And for Mr. Ceesay, we are sorry, you would have to come another time. So we would give you a rendezvous.
Okay, no.
We would make arrangements.
Okay.
We would inform the commission when next you are coming. And we hope that by then the technical problems would have all been identified and sorted out. Thank you very much, Mr. Ceesay. Let me hand over to the chair so that you could be discharged.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ceesay, for your testimony. We will come back to you when we work out the logistics. We will take a break now and come back at 2:45. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.